I just got like sick of my own bullshit. Like I just was doing, again, I've been in this situation before, and I'm convinced that they're the one, and that I need to just do like, get into like a really, then it'll work, and I'll just stay that way forever. And I have heard myself say this like over and over and over and over again. If this keeps happening to me and people keep treating me this way, this is my pattern.
So can you begin by talking about how you're feeling right now?
I'm actually not feeling great physically. I'm feeling annoyed at my body that it's not cooperating because I'm so excited to be here and I've been looking forward to being here.
And did you have any hesitation in like agreeing to do this or thoughts about participating in this?
Yeah, like of course, particularly the last step of like, am I going to be in my underwear? Is that going to undermine my work and the feminist activism that I do? Or will people think that it undermines it? I don't think it undermines it, and I know that you have a very different intention. I tried on like a one piece. I was like, I'll just wear like a one piece, but they're gonna think I'm like prude, and I don't want to reinforce the idea that women's bodies somehow like are an indicator of our value. I am careful with the way that I show my body, like just in general. I lose followers every time I post a photo in a bathing suit. I'm not kidding. Like my friend Heather and I, she is valued for her body, and so when she posts a photo in a bikini, her audience or whatever are very excited about that. When I do that, they're not. And then when she posts something smart, then she gets people being like, this is not who you are. Like, people put us in boxes, and again, particularly I think with women, of like, if you're anything else, I think it can be hard. We put women on pedestals, and then we get really disappointed when they're not perfect the way that we decided that they were, but they were never perfect to begin with.
Can you talk a little bit about what your style says about you?
What my style says about me, I dress with a lot of colors, I guess. I feel comfortable with a lot of colorful things. Happy keeps coming to mind, but and I like to have fun, in life, and I guess with my clothes. When I started having a real job, and all of a sudden I was kind of being taken seriously as a journalist, and I was like, are you talking to me? And so I would emulate what people were wearing, how people were acting, how people were talking. It was like cable news, you put on a blazer and And I remember I had this big Hello Kitty phone case and she's wearing big glasses like me, she has big black, she's kind of like a nerd Hello Kitty. And when I would go on TV, I would switch it out. I would take out the phone case. And one day I remember just accidentally kind of going in with it and realizing no, I'm different, and that's okay. Or not only that's okay, that's kind of why I'm here. I really do think we're in a moment, the summer of Barbie and Beyoncé and Taylor Swift, and this redefining, I think, of girlhood. There's a lot of women dressing for other women. Almost we're in a club, and you see me and I see you. It's actually a defining of our own culture, that's different from men. I think for a long time, mainstream feminism was focused on we're just as good as men, and this feels like we don't want to. We don't want to be like men, and it's not because we don't like men. It's just that we're ourselves, as opposed to defining ourselves in opposition to men, or even as a response to men. I do still feel very connected to my childlike self. I don't feel like she's a different person. It is crazy to think about it. You're in the same body. It's so, it makes me want to cry. These are my hand, my 8-year-old hands. It's the same nose, it's the same heart. It's whoa, I have goosebumps thinking about that. Should I put down the disco? Yeah. Okay, bye.
Can you talk about assumptions that you think people make about you based on how you look?
I think people think I'm dumber than I think I am. When my book came out, I remember getting this comment a lot of people being surprised by how researched it was and how much data was in the book.
How does it make you feel when people think you're not smart?
That is a question that made me go back to like being like a teenager. I was like, everyone was bullied, but like I was really targeted by boys, and I had to change schools. Like it got physical, and there was like sexual component. Like it was very not good, and a difficult year for me when I was like 14. And one of the main things was that like I was an idiot, and that I was dumb. Yeah, that was like really painful for me because I just didn't, anything I said, it was like, oh my God, like already crying, I knew you would do this. Like anything I would say would be like turned against me, or turned into evidence that I was dumb. Looking back, I do see a very gendered lens on it where, my best friend was a guy. He was kind of the alpha in the group, and I never thought of him romantically. And I think that at a certain point, when I think back at certain gifts that he gave me, or the lead up to a moment where he just decided I was, person non grata, from like one day to the next, basically my best friend became my like mortal enemy, or just this person that hated me and went out of his way to torment me. I was touched in ways that I didn't consent to. Interestingly, like he never did any of that. It was all the other guys. He was very threatening physically, and the sexual stuff was from the other guy. And again, I grew up in a culture where, the hottest record at the time was like Eminem, and one of the songs was him literally murdering his wife. That was the cultural context. And so again, I didn't think, what's wrong with these boys? A little bit, but like I was like, what's wrong with me? I probably did dress provocatively. Again, like, I am comfortable with a lot of colors. I didn't dress conservatively, I guess. It's so complicated because then also being a slut is the best thing that you can be and also the worst thing that you can be, right? They want you to be sexual. They want to see your thong sticking out of your pants. That's how the boys want you to be. But then if you do it, then you're also screwed. And so you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. And I remember that being really confusing for me. And even, this is the first time I've ever thought about this, but because so many of them have approached me later in life, like, I do think they felt conflicted about how awful, they were to me and probably themselves and to other boys, right? That it was a culture of targeting people, and they targeted boys too, that were quote unquote feminine, that kind of hunting for, who's different and proving that you're normal.
What is the biggest insecurity that you're currently working on overcoming or recently have overcome?
Yeah, feeling good in my body and feeling connected to my body. And this is getting better, but I used to wake up with a drill sergeant just like yelling. Like not just like talking to me, like yelling. This is what you need to do. This is what you did wrong. Like almost like I would start my day and the ticker was like down here, and I had to just like earn my way up here. And
To baseline.
yes, and then no matter what I do, the next day it'll still go down there, right? And I realized that I was paying attention so much to this really negative, not even soundtrack, like channel. That was the radio station. And I've kind of been switching it to a different one. I was like the director of a scary movie of my life. And I was like, it could be a musical, My baseline was like, there's something wrong with me. It comes from growing up in a confusing environment. There was a lot going on and not a lot that was explained. I think the consequence was I internalized everything. I relied on a lot of different things to get through it, and one of them was food. As a kid, it's hard to know you have an eating disorder, but like now, like as an adult, when I look back, I'm like, yeah. But then I'm like, wow, chips got you through it. Like ice cream got you through it. And maybe even my body was just the easiest thing for me to point to. Like maybe it's not even that deep, And I think maybe for a lot of women, it's not even that deep. It's like, we're told that that's the most important thing, and so if I feel like there's something wrong with me, it must be that. I'm really thankful for food. Even though I had a complicated relationship.
It was like a binge eating thing?
Yeah, like but then also that whole loop, right, where you then being like, oh my God, what have I done? I'm much better, but it's not, perfect. I think what is getting me right now is I'm like, I wish I had conquered this, and then I'd be able to talk about it, and then I'd be proud to talk about it, and I could talk about it from a position again of strength, and I feel again this is the opposite of how I want women to feel, and I don't like that I feel that way.
The changing the channel in your mind thing, was there a turning point? Was there a rock bottomy thing with that made you realize you had to do that?
Yeah. I feel like you've had a pre-interview with my brain before. I mean, it was a mix of things, but I think the most sort of stark thing that was going on in my life was I was just in this relationship, situationship with someone who was just not available. I just got sick of my own bullshit. I just was doing, again, I've been in this situation before, and I'm convinced that they're the one, and that I need to just do get into a really, then it'll work, and I'll just stay that way forever. And I have heard myself say this over and over and over and over again. If this keeps happening to me and people keep treating me this way, this is my pattern. And how extraordinary is that? Because that's the one thing I can control, myself. And so it was this unlocking kind of this new freedom for me. But I was like, I don't want this. I don't want, again, particularly in relationships, I don't want people who take from me. I want people who give and who I can give to, because with the unavailable people, you also can't really give to them. All of a sudden, I started, I was on a different channel in my head, I was on a different channel, and so I think I felt like my body was on a different channel too. That channel's still there, right? And I could fall back, I can fall back into it, but I have a different channel that's available. I also surrendered, which surrender is a really hard word for me, because I'm that's for losers, but I'm make things happen, and so surrendering is the opposite of that. It's I'm gonna let things happen. No, I have to make them happen. I really surrendered to just the whole idea of a family and how it's gonna happen, and my biological clock, and just again, I thought I was approaching it like a PowerPoint presentation. I need to if I put in a lot of work, it'll be great and I'll impress, but it's no, that's not really how life works. And so I really fully radically accepted that whatever is meant to happen is the right thing. Taking the most stressful things in my life and being not your job. Who you're gonna end up being with and having kids with, not your job. If you're gonna have kids or not, and if that's the right thing, not my job. Not my job. I still find it hard when I remember how old I am. I find it jarring. It's not that I don't think 36 is old, but I feel like my life is very different from how I imagined it would be when I thought about being 36, when I was a 14-year-old girl and I was thinking about, what am I gonna be like in 20 years? What's my life gonna be like? Part of that is there's a sadness there of I don't have a family, I don't own anything, I don't own a home. I don't have the whole little thing, right? And then I went, oh, but also my life is so much better in so many respects than what I imagined when I was 14. People care about what I think, and I'm part of an amazing community of other activists and people that I've looked up to for my whole life. They talk to me, and they like what the work that I'm doing. That is oh my God, whoa. This feels like my purpose. I don't know what's gonna happen. How cool. Instead of, I don't know what's gonna happen.
When do you feel the most vulnerable?
I mean, I feel vulnerable when I feel like I need to beg someone to love me, you know? Or to love me in the way that I want them to love me. When someone lets me down, it's very vulnerable for me. Like, I feel this feeling that I'm gonna die or something like that if someone doesn't,
Doesn't respond to
doesn't respond, yes.
Disappoints you.
Ghosts
Yeah, disappoints
you.
me, yes, and lets me down. And so, again, it's like this strategy of like, let them let you down. Okay.
Yeah,
Pants? Okay. I'm just gonna act like I'm chill about it. So chill. Totally normal. Okay.
When do you feel the most beautiful?
Why don't I have an answer? When do I feel the most beautiful? Why don't I know? Because I'm literally blank. I guess my parents have never told me I'm beautiful. Appearance, like, it really doesn't matter to them. You know, I didn't have Barbies. I didn't, they were very, I grew up with very feminist parents, and so they didn't want me to think that that my value was in what I looked like. And so I remember like being like 10 or 11 and like slowly kind of like, I'm like, am I pretty? Like someone would be like, oh my God, you're so, and I remember my aunt saying something, right? And she was like, oh, your hair, you're just so pretty. And I was like, what? There's all these photos of like us as kids, like we're in a row with our friends and like they're all wearing like the little poofy, again, the poofy dress for me was like, my mom didn't buy me those things, right? Like I couldn't have the little heels. I had like these kind of gender neutral like kickers, so I could run for the bus. So femininity for me is almost like this, it's like contraband. Like it was like contraband, a little bit. Like this, kids who weren't allowed to eat sugar and then they go to their friend's house or, they grew up and they just want sugar. Like it's a little that for me. When I have been with a partner or when I've been with a man who's like, you're so and talks about it, I feel really uncomfortable and I don't like it. And it's not that I want to be called ugly or right, but I want that to be the least interesting thing about me. And when I feel like it matters to you, I don't like it.
So last question. Why in your body, in your skin, in your journey, why is it a good place to be?
And I'm thinking about again that I'm in the same body. It's the same body. And like what an honor to get to live in that body. How differently could my life look like if instead of thinking about my body as what it can do for me, what I can do for my body. And why is that not the default? Like, what the hell? What? Right. That's my house.
Do you want to take off your bangs?
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say your bra. I was like, no, we're doing that? Okay.
Oh God, they look so real.
They're off.
You would never know.
It's crazy, right?
To me, this is when everyone is like radiating. You are.
You can't skip.
How do you feel now?
I feel fine. I'm learning a lot from your questions, and I want to fully learn the lesson. This is an experience that gives so much to the people who participate in it, and I don't want to half-ass it.
Really appreciate that a lot. I mean, it means a lot. Thank you so much. It was really beautiful.
Thank you. Like my toupee.